Hello, everybody. Michael here, and hope you're having a good Thursday. I taught something to my two. I have two masterminds right now going on, and there's some things that really help people during this time to get a better perspective on their leadership. And for lack of a better term, I'm calling them the two pyramids of leadership. And I have a little challenge out there for everybody. Sorry, I'm just doing this, so I'm making sure the screen is working right. Um, I need a better name for these two pyramids, but I'm going to show them to you here, and bonus for whoever can help me think of a better term for these. But I just want to jump right in here. I like to do these lives, and I like to throw some stuff out there. So please, comment and let me know anything you have around that. So here's the first pyramid of leadership, where let me just pull out. I like to pull out my old highlighter here and go to red. So when it comes to well-being's value, responsibility, and boundaries, it's important to understand the hierarchy of how you have to look at things. Now, when I talk about this, this is often for, this is you up there at the top of the pyramid. And what I mean by you at the top of the pyramid, when it comes to well-being, for example, let's handle these one at a time. When it comes to well-being, I meet so many leaders out there, especially right now, that care so much about their employees and their staff and their team that they forget about themselves. And you can do that for a little while, and sometimes you need to do that for a little while. But over this long haul, since March 2020, in this next normal, we are going through so much change, and the leaders are putting themselves under so much pressure. I did a workplace study at the end of last year, and I found out that 3 out of every 4 senior leaders were having issues related to burnout, mental and emotional health. And 1 out of every 4, they were in a serious place. And so you have to remember, if you're not at your best, you can't be at your best for your company, for your team, and for each individual person on your team. And it's your responsibility to take care of your own health. And so I'm giving you permission to take some time off. I'm giving you permission to really help yourself in these times. And so the well-being and your values. And so it's important, when it comes to your values and your ethics, that you really get clear on who you are. And for example, and hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but maybe honesty is really important to you, and for maybe there's a complex issue, and somebody at the company is trying to have you do something and tell a little white lie. Well, again, it's up to you to hold fast in your values and to realize what your values are, or maybe about bullying or however it is, so you really have to take responsibility for what your values are, etc., and setting your own boundaries. That's why you're at the top of this pyramid when it comes to this as far as leadership. And I tell this one story, and it's funny, I forgot about this for a while. When I owned one of my software companies in California, we had a programmer, and we were part of this HR, we hired a company, a decent sized company, and we hired a company basically to take over all of our payroll, our health insurance, which we have to do in the US, as well as our HR functions. And then as they were doing that, they had a standard contract that all of our employees had to sign. And one of my programmers said, he was a fairly new programmer, he was like on the 10th page of fine print, he's like, I don't agree with this sentence. I don't even remember what the sentence was, and it was just very legalese, it was very broad. And so I go, okay, well, it sounds like this is a really big deal to you. He said, yeah, it is. And so I went back to the HR company and I showed it to them, and they go, look, we appreciate that he has issues with this, but this is our standard contract. We have 100,000 people that we're helping in different organizations. All their client was over 100,000 people. I'm like, nobody's even brought this up before. So I go back to the program and I'm like, I understand this is a big deal, but can you just look past this? And nobody's ever brought anything like this up before. It's just one of those things that it's in these contracts, and they can't, they have 100,000 people. They can't do individual contracts for different people, obviously. He's like, this is a really big deal for me. So I was working, one of my coaches, Michelle Saul, amazing lady, when I went back to her and I said this, I said, I really want to stick up for my employees. So what I think I'm going to do, because we spent a lot of time selecting this HR company. We put a lot of time, we had great relationships with them. We thought they were really going to serve our needs, and they did. And I said, well, I know we spent all this time, but I really want to stick up for my employees. And so because this one guy has an issue with it, I think I might move to find another HR organization. And I'll tell you, Michelle Saul is one of the most compassionate people I know, but she's like, I don't think you should do that. And I said, well, why? She said, look, you listened to him, you went out of your way for him, you talked to the HR company. She's like, look, you got to be careful, because when people get a bit nitpicky and in a way victim-y, and they're going to dig their heels in for things you don't think is rational, other people are going to see that too. And at some point, people join your team. They join your team and they're going to accept what you do. Everything is not like a democracy. Everything is not up for an organization. You can't make special rules for each and every individual type of thing. She goes, you made a smart strategic decision with this HR company. And she went through all the reasons. I really realized, helped me see that sometimes that when we're talking about this, the team as a whole has to come over any other individual person. Because if the team as a whole isn't successful and the company isn't successful, you don't help anybody down here. Now, that doesn't mean, if somebody gets sick or somebody has a family issue, you don't work with them one-on-one. But that really also went to show me how the team, in a way, has to come first, because if the team's not strong, then I can't really serve my individual people. So again, this is the pyramid of leadership 1. It really helps show me, in a way, this hierarchy. Now, we're going to take that. Now I'm going to show you a pyramid of leadership 2. And the funny thing is, the pyramid of leadership 2 is the exact opposite pyramid. And it's important to know that, and it's important to know what is used for what. Now, if you ever heard of servant leadership, now this is, in a way, is what servant leadership is, where we have you down here as a leader, and you are really there to be of service, in service to creating a great team and to making sure that each individual team member has what they need to really do their job to the best of their abilities. And because at the end of the day, those people are the closest people to your customers, your other stakeholders, your vendors, your partners, whatever. So they need to be enabled, and they need to have all the tools that they can to best service everybody else, all the different people and organizations that your firm runs into. And so really what I think of myself is, and that's what I even asked my employees. I said, how can I better support you? What do you need to do your job better? And I really listen to them. I do everything in my power to do that. Now, that's the funny thing, is we have to balance these two pyramids. We have to balance being of service and supporting the people in our organization, while also realizing that every little thing that everybody asks for, if one certain person does and everybody else doesn't, maybe we have to say no to that, because we really have to treat the entity, the company and the team as a goal. Because your loyalty actually is to the company, and your loyalty is to the team. Again, back to the first pyramid, assuming they're in line with your ethics and your values. Because again, unless the team is strong, that's where the strength, and you can really be of service to your whole team and all of your customers. All right, everybody, hope this makes sense. I always like to give things like this, because it gives a little bit of perspective and a little bit of meaning to what everybody's doing out there. And again, we're in the next normal. Since this pandemic, since work from home, things are really difficult out there for leaders. We're going through so much change. So hopefully this can give you some context to just bring a little more strength to your leadership. All right, everybody, Michael here. Just want to shout out. I just really enjoy giving value out there. Anything else you want me to do a live one, drop it in the notes or post in the group or wherever you're seeing this at, because I do listen a lot to what people are putting out there, so that I can do these and really meet everybody where they're at. All right, everybody, take care. Have a good weekend if I don't talk to you. Bye-bye.